on this computer. All right, awesome. Good morning, everyone. My name is Francesca. Thanks so much for joining the New Media Retailer podcast. I am super excited today to be joined by two participants, Elizabeth and Colin from Grove City Agway. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, tell a little bit about how you got started with the business, what your roles are, and Elizabeth, I'll let you kick it off.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and so we're part of Grove City Agway, and I've been part of Grove City Agway all of my life. Literally, my parents bought the store whenever my mom was pregnant with me, and so it's all I've known. And so after college, I decided I wanted to come back and join the business, and so I've been back here since for full time. Well, I started off full time since 2008 when I finished at Penn State, and then in this past year, we've started the process of me becoming an owner as well. So
congratulations, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Now, not to put you on the spot, but how many years has your family owned the business? And I know that this dates you, so I apologize.
No worries, I can own it. They bought it in February of 1985. Okay. So 36 years ago.
Awesome. Congratulations to you and your family. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Colin, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved.
Yeah. So I started working here. It's basically my first real job out of high school. So I've kind of worked through various positions, more or less, I guess. But right now I'm sort of like a Swiss Army knife where I do a lot of miscellaneous things, but I don't necessarily do all of it really well. But yeah, it's I do a lot of things in receiving or things at counter and customer service and just a lot of different miscellaneous things. But
awesome. How long have you been there?
About 8.5 years.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And in terms of go ahead.
Just let me interrupt. And he says he's not very good at
playing his role.
He really is like a Swiss Army knife, but he's crucial. So I'm like that. I didn't want to interrupt, but so I did. Yeah.
No, that's good. I had a feeling he was probably downplaying it a little bit. And Colin, just in terms of context of this conversation, you primarily work with Leanne, who's the marketing specialist. So you work together and you handle specifically a lot of the website, social media stuff, email marketing. Right. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
How did that come about? Is that just something you were interested in or just kind of got assigned to you? And
yeah. So back when I started, that was sort of something that Elizabeth handled. Okay. It was something that interested me. And so just over time is something that I took on a little bit of and then sort of took on fully a few years ago, I guess now,
And just looking at your website, I see you guys do offer curbside pickup and local delivery. Are those services you offered for a while? Was that a COVID related thing? Walk me through that journey a little bit.
Yeah, the curbside pickup and the delivery. The curbside pickup definitely started around COVID. The delivery. The delivery, we might have started a little bit before that, but it's something that's definitely grown over the past year or two.
Okay. And how has that created any challenges for you in your business in terms of how you're connecting with customers if they're not coming all the way in the store, just doing curbside pickup?
As far as that, I don't. Honestly, it's still fairly slow moving. Okay. So I haven't noticed a whole lot of challenges in that way. But yeah, we're still trying to build our business in that respect.
Awesome. Yeah, no, and it's definitely something that a lot of stores participated in as a result of COVID for sure. And as it continues on, I think it's a convenience that a lot of, consumers are starting to expect. So I think it's important, that stores participate in it. And I think for small businesses though, I think it definitely is still something that is an education process with getting customers to that point. So every store kind of has a little bit of a different response to curbside pickup and local delivery for sure.
Yeah, if I can add to what Colin was saying, my computer froze there for a second, so I may have missed if he said this, but we've always done a lot of delivery.
Okay.
And we had been trying to do online. We actually, prior to COVID, because I remember the only reason I know it was prior to COVID, I was so thankful we kind of had it established before COVID, was when we started really doing the online ordering of the delivery.
Okay.
And so then it was so easy to do curbside pickup.
Got it.
With our business in the past, it was just continuously people would call in, arrange a delivery, and we'd deliver it. And you hope that it stayed organized.
Yeah. A lot of time spent on the phone.
Exactly.
And a lot of information.
Right. And then taking credit cards over the phone and things like that, where then Colin kind of got it boiled down to people still call in and do their deliveries, but it's a little easier sometimes with what Colin has done with the online ordering, and it just made sense. We tried to go bigger and we kind of toned it down a little bit, and Colin got it under control with the curbside pickup and the delivery. So.
Yeah. The delivery piece for small businesses that were in a position to offer local delivery. I think because COVID was like forcing so many businesses to, like, I was talking to stores and they'd be like, gosh, sometimes I'm on the phone up to 40 minutes with a customer. And I'm like, garden stores, they're like, I'm kind of trying to like walk through my store and rattle off what we have. And like, is there an easier way to do this? And that was the quicker connection point for stores. And then they were like, wow, you just saved me 45 minutes per customer. And so that was like the quick value add, like nodding their head. I get it. And I can see it. It's just some stores were not ready for delivery. And so that's a whole separate piece. I mean, when you need to figure out like the schedule and the zip codes and all of that, people that didn't have that pre-COVID, I think they had the longer stretch to go, if that makes sense.
Most definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, we had that so similar. We had so many customers like saying such a similar experience for sure. So I mean, that's the delivery is that curbside pickup, local delivery, anything else like new going on in the store this year, or maybe since last year, since things were so different?
I'll take it. I was thinking about that because it is good to look back at I guess we're halfway through, so look back and look forward to the year. And this year was so up in the air that I feel like this is a cop-out answer, but we just were trying to find our new normal because we had a great year in 2020, which was mind-blowing, and it continued into 2021, and we were just trying to embrace that and then just continue it as well, and do the best we can and see if this was going to be our new normal. And so I guess I kind of hate that term of new normal, but that's what we were trying to do.
No, I think it's a good use of the term in this context for sure. In terms of like being really busy and things like that, I personally know a lot of people that I don't know a lot of people that got new pets necessarily, but I know a lot of people that got into like starting a garden or like maybe getting chicks for the first time. Can you guys like walk me through like your customer base? Did you have new customers that were like very early in like the education process and were really relying on you, or like what was that journey like?
That was so a little bit of, I guess, to backtrack like the history of our business just a little. We were figuring out, and this is mind-blowing, but it was about 20 years ago, like 18 to 20 years ago, we bought a pet store and put it within our store. So we sell live pets as well. So we have probably, Colin, you can correct me, but like, I think like 90 fish tanks, and they're all freshwater fish. We sell rodents, and including mice and rats and guinea pigs. We sell reptiles, and we sell birds. And
Wow.
so that's a big difference with our agway that makes us different than others, because there's some that do that, but that's not as common, and it was not how this business started, and when it was primarily agriculture, we switched, we added in pets. We still do the ag side of things. But with that being said, we saw a ton of people getting new pets,
Okay.
spoiling their current pets. And that was fun. That kept the pet department, we all work together, but we have a pet department, and that kept them extremely busy, which was such a blessing to us, because when money and people's incomes were up in the air, we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But with the gardening, there was people wanting to garden because they were home and landscape. I remember seeing people in 3 times a day some days, because they were trying to do projects that they had never done before, but it was on their to-do list, and they were off work, so they had time to do it.
Right.
And so the landscaping and teaching people to garden, which is I love when new people garden, because I think that's such a great thing for adults and kids to learn alike. But we were continuously telling people how deep to plant seeds and what to do with their soil and start them off, and new chicken farmers or expanding chicken farmers. So it was everything you mentioned, we've expanded. Plus people got new dogs and things like that. So we could talk to them about that. But so we were so very blessed with all of it, because people trusted us and they came to us for their new activities. So
Yeah.
sorry, Colin, I kind of took over. You can add to that.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah. No, I obviously would echo everything that you said, and it was interesting to see all the people taking up new hobbies and different things last year. And the big thing that was really noticeable right away was all the people taking up gardening and things like that, because basically last year in March or April, we basically had the amount of seeds that we have now in the beginning of August. We were just cleared out of things, and the same with people buying things in the nursery, just with the different perennials and annuals and all of that. We got cleared out. Now we have shortages just because of supply issues, but at least at the start of it, things cleared out really quickly, just because we were selling so much, and because so many people were picking up new hobbies or buying new pets or different things like that. So it's really interesting to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think my follow-up question to that is, for me, noticeably as a consumer, I'm also very biased because I'm the daughter of small business owners. But the reason why people shop small is because of customer service, because of the community feel, but also because people that work at small businesses are so much more educated than employees, educated in that area than employees that work at big box stores. And I've had that experience through and through and through. So I can say that from my own personal experience. But obviously that does put a little bit of pressure on small business employees, because people come there and ask questions about gardening or about pets or about having chickens for the first time. So how are you educating your employees? Is it something that they're all interested in? How are they getting up to snuff, I'll say, to have those educated conversations with consumers?
That's an Elizabeth question.
So I don't know. That's a hard question. We try. I mean, it's you could read a whole book on everything, or read a book on each subject and not remember it. It's a hands-on experience.
Yeah.
We tend to hire people that are interested in what we're selling.
Okay.
And honestly, that's the easiest way to have them, maybe they're not educated when they got here, but they pick it up quickly because it's what they're interested in. Yeah. And we tend to, we're okay with asking each other for help And
Yeah.
that's what when I hire somebody new, I always say, I'm like, just ask for help. There's no reason that you have to know everything the first time. So when they ask for help, they're there while we answer the question. And
Sure.
so then hopefully the next time they can answer that question without asking for help. I mean, we always have the, cheat sheets laying around of how much lime you need per square footage, that kind of thing, because those numbers can all run together eventually. And we have, the lawn and garden stuff with the mixes and stuff like that. You have to look it up sometimes, and we have the resources here to do that.
Yeah.
But, finding the employees that are interested in what we're selling, that makes them quick to be educated, and then it's a hands-on education. And that's like, I think about, so Colin's parents and my parents were friends growing up. He's younger than me, obviously, but so he started here young, and so I feel like I can say this, when he started, he didn't necessarily know all the answers. Well, neither did I, but I grew up with it, so it was different. But Colin is a go-to person now, and it's all, I would say, by experience, right, Colin? I don't like, that's how you were educated. So.
Yeah, just kind of learning as I went along, for sure. Yeah.
And Colin, do you have, like, obviously you guys have multiple types of departments there, so I'm sure you can't relate every single one back to your life. But when you say like you learn through experience, is that experience of like being exposed to different types of conversations, or is it experience like you are trying some of these things out yourself? You have a garden now yourself, or you have pets. So that makes you be able to speak from experience in that way.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there are things here and there that I know just practically from being at home with my own lawn or
right.
Whatever, things like that. But a lot of it has just been work experience, and like Elizabeth said, just kind of picking things up through conversations with customers or hearing Elizabeth or George or somebody else who has all of that knowledge, and just absorbing it through proximity, basically.
Yeah. That's awesome. And are you hiring more, do you hire a lot of like high school kids that are doing this as like a part-time job, or are you hiring people that are a little bit older and this is more like a full-time gig for them?
So that's an interesting question because right now, and it's through the transition of, it goes back to the history of the store. Like we might not be able to pay the same as everyone. I don't know. I can't even think of an example, but we try to have a good work experience and work environment. And so with that being said, we tend to keep employees for a while. And so the unfortunate thing right now is some of our employees are either retiring or going part-time, and they've been here the last 20 some years. So we're actually in the last couple of years, and go in the next couple of years coming up, we're probably going to go through a weird transition time. That we're hiring. So we hire part-time high school kids because we're open 8 to 8 Monday through Friday and 8 to 6 on Saturday. So we're open a lot of hours. So we hire high school, college kids for evening help and loading, but we always have somebody with experience on the floor. And so we're kind of we hire everyone. We try to have a good mix, I guess. Sorry, I kind of got off track there, but
no.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to is we have even our part-time employees, we like the long-lasting ones. And I think it goes back to the family atmosphere and the family business that they stick around.
Yeah. And what a testament to that. I mean, having employees that have been there for over 20 years, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Congratulations. Typically when conversations shift towards hiring, that is a difficult place to be in for businesses of all sizes right now. What kind of, are you finding a challenge in that area currently?
Yes. So, I mean, we have, I guess we have good employees. Like our employees are great. And so you want to be very specific and partial. I don't know the right word, but and hire the right people to fill the right positions. And so it makes it difficult now when everybody wants those right people. Everybody wants somebody that's good at customer service and and yeah, these high school kids that are really good can go and get a job anywhere,
Right.
and so, and it's hard to compete in that. So it's been an interesting time with hiring. We're not in a desperate state of mind yet, but we always try to look towards the next season, and I could see it getting more and more difficult if,
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to change, but I could see it being difficult, and I'm hoping that, God just leads the right people to us, and he does.
Yeah.
He always has. So that's what we kind of have faith in as well. So
No, that makes sense. Yeah, I think it's tricky. I think everybody right now is trying to come up with ways to get creative, to have their employees have it be a place where they want to be, to keep the good people there. So I definitely think it's a challenge that like everybody is facing for sure. Another challenge that Colin kind of already touched on. So I'm assuming I know your answer, but biggest challenges you guys are facing this year?
go ahead, Colin.
Yeah,
Supply.
yeah, it's kind of obviously with everything with COVID, trying to get people into the store, or at the very least having us deliver to them. And obviously before, one of the big trends that just even since I've been here is obviously kind of the shift from a lot of brick and mortar stuff to online sales. We live in a very much like a, for better or for worse, like an Amazon Prime world, right? And so, and obviously with everything with COVID, people wanting to get out less or being able to get out less and all of that sort of thing has definitely pushed it more in that direction. So at least in my opinion, I'm not necessarily speaking for everybody at the store, but that's a big challenge for us. It's obviously, and like Elizabeth said, like we've been extremely blessed over the past year and a half or whatever. We've done well over the period, but obviously there's still going forward that shift that has happened, and like Elizabeth said, the new normal or whatever of trying to recognize some of the way that our world has changed, probably for the indefinite future anyway. And yeah, just rising to meet some of those challenges with convenience and everything. So
yeah. And I think it goes back to it being a blessing that you guys were prepared to do delivery. Amazon can get packages to a door in 2 days. Yes. But obviously being able to offer delivery, sometimes there are opportunities where you guys can beat that, you can get it to their front door quicker than Amazon maybe. So I think already being set up there is definitely such a blessing. In terms of getting people back into the store, is that something it seems like your customer base is open to at this point? Obviously you touched on them coming and like asking questions about, hey, I'm a first time gardener, or I'm interested in maybe having a fish tank for the first time. Do you feel like it's starting to go back that way where customers are feeling comfortable coming back in?
I do. I don't think we're not close to, the closest city we have is Pittsburgh. So we have a different customer mindset to begin with.
Sure.
So we were open the whole time. We were open, our doors were open. We followed restrictions the best we could, and we always have people in. I think more people are coming through the door because they just want to be out, and they want to see things themselves. They want to look at the options and they want to talk to us. And when it comes down to it, because we have great employees and customer service, that I see people coming in and having a conversation about what they should use on their garden. And so those people that maybe didn't come in as often during COVID, or I really kind of see it coming back.
Okay.
Colin, you can add to that or correct me, but that's how I feel, I guess. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it seems, like I said, the whole way along, we have a really loyal customer base. We're a fairly small town, and the store kind of has that, it kind of has that feel where, a lot of the employees, at least like the full-time employees, know a lot of people's names and different things. Sometimes, a lot of times vice versa. And they'll just, they'll come in for advice and different things. And, so we've had a really loyal customer base that, has stuck with us through it all. And it's been good considering.
Do you feel like you guys are having to come up with ways to incentivize people to come in, like either a promotion or maybe like an in-store event with like a rep from a brand, or you feel like it's starting to just happen organically?
Well, Colin, I'm going to say something you might want to add to it, but the one thing that really works for us in this isn't answering your question exactly, but because we were doing this before with other things and then led to more, I guess it expanded, but we do a frequent buyer program.
Oh, cool.
For a lot of things. And really Colin is in charge of that. I mean, I don't know if anyone's in charge of it, but if there's a problem, he handles it. So we have it for lots of dog foods. We used to only do it with bird feed. And then we expanded with, and that was just within the store. We've done it for a long time, like 25 years. So, and then that's a way that customers repeatedly come back.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if they order online or order in the store, it still works. But anyways, and then now we do it with horse feeds, chicken feed, probably 10 brands of dog feed and cat feed.
At least,
yeah, I think I'm lowballing it, if anything. And people get excited. They do. I don't know if I said water softener salt, but like, it's funny. I mean, it might be a $50 bag of dog food that they get free for every 12 that they buy. And so that's an incentive to get people in the store, keep the customers. We do all the work. All we do is put their name in. So there's no cards, there's no barcode to scan on their keychain. We try to make it simple, and it's an incentive to bring them in. So yeah, we do events. Like we'll have our open house back again this year, and that will bring people in. But that's almost like it's all of our customers come to that. So yes, they might buy new things, but what really draws people in is the
it's okay if somebody came in.
You want to meet George?
Yeah. Hi.
My baby. That's my boss. Thank you. Oh boy. So yes. So Colin, you take over from there.
That's such a great consistent way to keep people coming back. Absolutely. That's so smart.
And people get word and say, I heard about this, that should I buy my dog food from you instead of somebody down the road?
100%.
And that's what we want. Yeah.
Yes. Colin, I'll let you take this one while Elizabeth regroups from embarrassment. Paint like a picture of like your competition in your area. Are there other like small business, like pet stores, garden stores that you're competing with? Is it more big box stores? You don't have to say names if you don't feel comfortable, but what is your competition?
Yeah. I mean, so we're in a fairly small town. So there's not a whole lot in our actual town itself.
You can say names,
I mean,
Colin, it's okay.
okay. Yeah, I didn't figure you'd care, but I mean, in Grove City, I guess the main competitor would be like there's a Tractor Supply,
Okay.
which obviously carries a lot of the ag stuff, and they carry some of the pet supplies and things like that. So we have to be sort of conscious with
Sure.
pricing and things as far as being competitive with them. There's a Walmart and that kind of stuff, which carries a little bit of that stuff too, obviously. So there's not any like big box pet stores in the town. There are a couple in the general area.
Okay.
But yeah, those are kind of the two big ones, I guess. There's like a Busy Beaver that obviously like, which is I don't know how regional that is. Is that regional? It's like a big box hardware store type of, but they carry a lot of ag, not ag, yeah, lawn and garden kind of stuff. So each one of those we kind of have to, there's sort of a section of the store that we have to be mindful, kind of as far as competition with each of those. But
yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything you want to add to that, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the small business competition, there's some feed stores around, but quite honestly, the way we've always done it, and I would hope they would say the same, but we try to be respectful of one another. And because we're small businesses, like we're all trying to survive and succeed. And so that's the way, my parents always ran the business, was to be respectful of the people that you're going to see at the 4-H auctions buying animals. And so, yes, they're competition, but not really, because we kind of have our own, we're all a little bit different in the way we do things. So
yeah, that makes sense. And I think the way you guys are describing the town that you're from, it's almost identical to the town that I'm from. I mean, the town, which is the town right next door, there's just one red light. So there is a family owned business that I think is similar to yours. They don't have like live pets, but similar to yours. I know that they actually carry Agway products, Southern States products as well. And then here we do have a Tractor Supply and a Walmart. So I think it's very similar, to what you guys are describing. So I can mentally like picture it very, very well. One challenge that a lot of stores do talk about is supply chain challenges. And Colin, I know you touched on that earlier, but in what ways has that impacted your business? And are you hearing that some of the bigger box stores, maybe in your area, like a Tractor Supply or something, are having an easier time getting their hands on products, or is everybody struggling? Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big, actually kind of to the point with both of sides of the question, I feel like is, canning supplies is a good example of something that like, last year we had some at the start of the year, but like we ran out of it super quickly and then we couldn't get any more in. And then this year, I think this upcoming week is the first week we're going to have any canning supplies, and we've had it back ordered since the early spring. And obviously like lots of, I'll be walking through, Walmart or something like that. And, obviously a lot of their shelves, while they might be emptier than normal, they at least have stock, and we just haven't been able to get anything. But there have been a lot of supply issues, like, one of the kind of the thing that I'll tell people is, COVID has kind of affected the supply chain in weird places, like a lot of companies, like manufacturers will have lots of their actual product, but like the dog food companies will have trouble getting the actual aluminum can or whatever, and then or the like the chemical company, like we get a lot of Bonide products, and one of their supply issues was they were having trouble getting the little trigger sprayers. Like they had the bottle, but they couldn't get the sprayers that go on top and things like that. So yeah, it's kind of shown up in odd places, but yeah.
And I think the nice thing is, like, with us being, so it's hard because we're a small business, and we have heard that the big box stores are able to have first dibs on these things, even though, like he said, the canning supplies were back ordered since spring. We actually ordered them in the fall, like almost a year, and that's what we do. We don't wait till last minute, but somehow it has seemed like the box stores have kind of snuck in there somehow, and that's for a debate on another day, not today, but it is what it is. The nice thing is, though, that our companies that we buy from, some of them, I shouldn't say all of them, have taken the time to explain to us why. And that's where we can be different with our customers, and that we can explain, because Bonide explained to us the trigger sprayers, they couldn't get them. It's like, then we can explain to our customers, and our customers somehow just take that a little bit better. They get tired of going in and seeing empty shelves. But if we take the time to say, this is what's going on, they don't leave here mad at us. They are like, oh, that makes sense. We're going to take a deep breath and come back another time. And so it's a challenge. So don't get me wrong, but that's how we're trying to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah. I love that. And obviously, Colin, like your answer, I was like, wow, he knows a lot about that. But that makes sense then. Like, obviously, if the brands are sharing with you their difficulties, and that makes total sense. I mean, transparency, I feel like always wins. So anytime you get the opportunity to do that, I think it's always the right decision. Do you feel like, are you waiting for customers to ask before you're sharing? Or is it something like, are you putting that information on social media so that customers are aware before they come in? Talk to me a little bit about that.
I think I wait till they ask a little bit more, because some people don't care. Right. Some people are going to be annoyed either way. Right. Some people care, and I want those people to come back. So, I mean, everybody gets their time. Like, I was annoyed when I couldn't buy toilet paper, back when, and that just is what it is. And let's just carry on. I don't care why. We just need to move along. But so if they want the conversation or the discussion, then we'd be happy to talk to them about it. But I don't think we try to overshare, because we're not trying for sympathy. We're just trying to explain to them what's going on. And we do say, we want your business, but if you can find it somewhere else, then okay, because I know you need to kill these bugs, and you need to do what's best for you. But hopefully our honesty will bring them back, is kind of what we look at.
Yeah, no, I think that's very, very well said. Colin, do you have anything you want to add there?
No, yeah, I mean, I agree. My answer was pretty much the same. Like, we don't really share that sort of thing on social media outlets or anything. But I mean, we're pretty open. If somebody comes in the store, hey, I'm looking for this, we'll tell them, we're really sorry. This is why we have been trouble getting it.
No, that makes total sense. I feel like you guys painted like such a good picture for educating employees, creating like a culture in your business where people want to keep working, talking about like challenges and stuff like that. I'm so grateful for your time. I feel like I just have like one final question. And that's, what advice would you give to a small business right now who's maybe going through some of the same struggles with you are, whether that's with hiring, supply chain, trying to encourage customers to come back in and not shop at like a big box store or something?
I would say, take a deep breath and don't rush into freaking out, because, and maybe find that balance. Like, Colin and my dad and I will have a lot of conversations, and like try to, instead of freak out or jump to the conclusion that the world is the sky is falling, then take a deep breath and do that. That's like current. The one thing I did, when having a business, have good people that work for you and good people that you like, not just employees, but every small business, to be successful. And this is kind of off of the supply chain thing, but like, we have our bank is good to us. If we have questions through all of the COVID stuff, we could ask questions. Our accountant, our attorney, all of those things. We have people surrounding us that we trust, and we're a family business, so like our families are crucial to it as well. Colin and I each have kids, and we have young children, and they come in, and our spouses are involved or maybe not involved, but supportive, and the kids run in and love the store, and that makes us as employees and working want to be there because our family is part of the Agway family.
Yeah, absolutely. Colin, from like an employee perspective, anything like you would share to like other employees that are like in a tough spot? To be in a situation where you're like, oh, okay, a Walmart might have it, but we don't, and I'm so sorry, or something like that. Like, what advice can you share to other employees that maybe it's not as easy as it was at this time 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's like we've been saying, it's sort of like just focus on customer service. That's kind of the small businesses, the biggest, the most powerful tool in the small business belt or whatever is to have good customer service. And on, as an employee, on a frustrating day when, you've answered, the 10th person who's asked if you've had like Japanese beetle traps in, just have patience and just try to, just focus on your customer service, and that'll go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, guys, this was such a great conversation and so relatable. And these are things that like every business, big and small, are going through right now. And I very much just appreciate your time. I think this is going to be such a valuable listen for other businesses just like yours, who are in different areas, who are constantly asking us the question, like, what are other stores like me doing right now? Are other stores struggling? And, those are questions in the same way that you probably get asked 10 times a day, like we do too. And so we were trying to think like, how can we just bridge all of this information together? We have really good conversations with stores. How can we make them accessible? And I feel like this conversation is just exactly why we wanted to start this podcast. And I feel like it's going to be so beneficial for other businesses to listen to. So I thank you both so much for your time. You're off the hook now. You can take a deep breath. You passed.
Well, I will say, not to like advertise for New Media Retailer, but you guys have been a huge help to us. And like, I'm partial to Leanne because she's our go-to girl. And when I handed it over to Colin, I was like, I'm gonna lose my friend Leanne. So I was like, I don't want to do the online stuff, but I really like talking to Lee. So
I know. It's
you guys are a great support for us. We appreciate that.
Thank you. We've been, just like you guys, so blessed with such an incredible team. And it's actually just so rewarding to hear people say things like that. Like, we have employees that work here that, sometimes it's out of our control. Like, we do have to move accounts around. We try our best to avoid it, but like Lee will say like, but I don't want to break up with them. I love them, or like something like that. And so it's just so rewarding to hear that on both sides. So thank you so much for sharing that. Customer service is everything to us too. Like you guys both mentioned several times here. So we're happy to be a part of this fight with you guys. We're all about small businesses and helping them beat a world that has Chewy's and Amazons. We don't want anything to do with that. So we appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Have a great afternoon.
You too.
You too.
Bye.